Hey everyone, good evening. How is everybody? Um, I'm still having issues with my um, blah, 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 Streamlabs or whatever it's called. Um, so getting the gurus on Streamlabs to figure it out. If it's not one thing, it's another. Seems like the older I get, technology just keeps getting too advanced. Shows my age now. Shows my age. Hope everybody's having a good evening. We'll add this in here. This is my brother-in-law. Like, he looks like my brother-in-law. Alrighty. I had to add that in there. I know he's watching. He's one of my number one fans. One of my favorite brother-in-laws. That's what Grok and Chat GPT came up with. So Jimmy Kimmel and then Jeffrey Dean Morgan. So now I gotta add that in there. Oh. Yeah, and then I found another video that I need to clip in on this. Anywho, so today's topic is genetic testing. Saved my life. It saves a headache. It's just, I'm tired of healthcare, in general. What am I gonna do? Disclaimer, obviously, I need to say it, load it in, all the things. I'm not an MD, psychiatrist, nurse, mental health therapist, or even a pharmacist. This is solely my own personal experience and opinions and my own research in genetic testing. I'm also not a geneticist, endocrinologist, all the other doctors, specialists, or we'll just quote Mo in the deep end, I'm not a doctorologist. So I believe genetic testing should become a much bigger part of informed consent before prescribing psychiatric medications. Now, this channel's not, I'm not anti-psychiatry. If you need help, let's inform you, take a different direction, different approach. Maybe, talking to your friends or family first. No matter how big it is, there's people that can support you. And, Heck, you might have family members that are, in healthcare, and they might be able to help you, you know, a little bit better because one, they've known you your entire life. And I know that's hard, and sometimes we're too busy and don't have the how is cognitive dissonance, is that the right word that I'm looking for? I think so. Anyways, you can formulate your own word on that. So we need to make more time for people. We need to stop working so hard and stop drowning ourselves in work and just sit down, make time, and that kind of thing. And no matter where we are, friends, neighbors, pastors, whatever, wherever you sit in that person's life, wherever you stand in that person's life. Because they might not need to go to a professional. They might not need to go to a psychiatric hospital. They might not need medications. So make the time for them. And then, if it's ugly, scary, too much, call 911 first. Call 911 first. Always call 911 first. Go that route first. Okay? And then you can transition to a psychiatric hospital. And then outpatient, inpatient, whatever, is the next route, whatever that it may be. Anyways, did I just say that I believe genetic testing should become a much bigger part of informed consent before prescribing psychiatric medications, especially when someone is in that vulnerable dissociative state. Okay? The lack of informed consent is the same or worse, equivalent to I'm going to say this, SA or R, especially when you lose all trust in the system and everything. Like, I'm talking about your home, your stability, your job, your, even friends, family, your schedule, your, all your stuff. Well, your stuff can be replaced. Eventually, you can eventually go back to stability, but at the time, it's like it's like just another manifestation, and it's hard, you know. I forget what I was gonna write there on my little kind of script thing. I'm trying not to read off the script and just kind of do my thing here. Not go all OCD and type A personality, be authentic on here, instead of reading from a script or posting all the, the verbiage and stuff. I don't want this to be like, that type of, YouTube channel, because I want it personalized. Anyways, I want to say my genetic test shows that I have hypersensitivity. I was born with it. DNA, genetics. Let's just dive into genetic testing. Why do we have to happen, all that? So, I'm probably about 65% of these medications. 20% of them I don't know, as I was polypharmacy at the time, and I rather put them in, the hypersensitivity column. If I find myself relapsing, give or take, with mental health, or get into a crisis at some part of my life again, I might be willing to try those medications, but for my safety, I just rather, for now, put them in, I don't know, phase, But what gets me is not even 1% of these. I don't know the other portion of them is what their names are and stuff, and never heard of them. So I wouldn't even try them. And what gets me is I've been on 2 of them. I'm even too scared to, there's 2 in the mood stabilizers that I can take. There's only 2. And I'd be afraid to try the other one, but the one that you will commonly hear me talk about is trilopitol. Trilopitol, apparently back in 2018, I was a little shocked that it was used for mood stabilizer, which I'm like, that and Topamax. I don't understand how that can be approved as a mood stabilizer when at the time I was taking name brand, but the FDA has approved the generic trilaptol, which is oxycarbazepine, as a mood stabilizer. I don't understand why medication they have to have two names. And the coating on the gelatin, people can be allergic to that. And medication has, like, I want to say a certain percentage different makeup on medication. So that's probably why they get, they have two different names. Generic is used because it's cheaper and less quality, I think, than name brand. And half the time I find that nurses and doctors don't even use name brand, and they can't even pronounce some of these names of these generic medications, which drives me crazy. It was so funny when I was in the hospital. They would try to pronounce it or whatever, and I'm like, oxycarbazepine. But maybe I say I'm kind of tired of the whole trend of everybody is autistic. I think everybody is autistic on that spectrum. Everybody has their, quirks and, I feel like every single person has a disability of some sort, or capability, or superpower, or, which is unique to them. And, I'm tired of people like stereotyping, and claiming that, they're autistic or they're neurospicy or whatever. And if you don't meet, so-and-so's, and there's so much ableism, and it's driving me crazy. Anyways, so based on my experience, I believe many of these contribute to health crises, including chemical-induced depression, anxiety, PTSD, mania, psychosis, concussions, TBI, and functional neurological disorder or protracted withdrawal. There was another one that I was going to include in this little tidbit. Brain fog. I'm a former I wouldn't say I'm a former. I still have non-epileptic seizures, I think. But I feel like these medications, these mood stabilizers, cause more non-epileptic seizures. or protracted withdrawal symptoms. But I will say I am a former psychiatric patient who's just, I'm extremely exhausted by the healthcare system, filled with dismissal, gaslighting, bias, outdated concepts, protocols, standard protocols, where sometimes it just does not meet the patient, you know, especially with FND or protracted withdrawal, which I don't even think healthcare professionals understand protracted withdrawal. And then I can go on a tangent on that. And then the trial and error approach to the treatment. Let's just, here you go, here's candy, you know. Oh, you want a big Snickers? That's how I feel nowadays to the approach of the treatment. Whereas when I was a medical massage therapist, you know, I sat down for 20 minutes. Let's look at everything. Let's look at sleep. Let's look at your work. Are you sitting, standing, walking, running, driving, swimming, whatever? Are we look at your exercise. What kind of exercise? What are you doing in exercise? Oh, back to work. How can we, like, ergonomically, you know, prevent you to have that pain at work? Let's invest in that. Same for, you know, your exercise, you know, and then, like, either I would mostly would send you to physical therapists. I can get you, like, started, you know, with my expertise, and, you know, like, reposition you, especially if you are stationary on the table. And, you know, I'll go through the motions of whatever exercise, or, you know, like if you're a swimmer, because then I can figure out, you know, the origin of your pain, which comes from your, you know, spine, and then the insertion, which is the tail end of your muscle, and then if there's anything triggering in the belly of the muscle, and then kind of check your range of motion and if there's any restrictions. So I can re-educate you neuromuscularly. Now, if you know, I would send you to PT, one, if you could not, you know, afford my services, or I just feel like you needed more professional, you know, eyeballs on your care and stuff. And then you can come back to me, and then we can kind of do self-care, self-maintenance. So, yeah. Anyways, that's a little off topic a little bit, but that's okay. But And then I look at dietary just a smidge. Again, I would refer you out a basic, are you drinking enough water, Um, and then, like, if I see any, like, eating disorder or something, that is, like, go see a dietitian. But that's pretty much all I can do without, going out of my scope of practice. But we do look at that. I do have it noted down. So if you came back to me or needed more help with, a doctor or, endocrinologist or whatever, I would say talk to an internalist, endocrinologist, and then dietitian is where you would need to go for all that. What else do I look at? Sleep. Because I do hear a lot of people that might have sleep apnea. And then, like, with sleep apnea, you can have your tonsils and adenoids obstructing. And then I honestly rather somebody get the mandible mouth guard that kind of shifts your teeth. Yeah, I need to try to get that here in the future. Because, yeah, the CPAP machine it's a pain in the butt. And I honestly feel like I'm going to suffocate in that with the PTSD, to be honest. So, so I've heard a lot of people suspected, a lot of people have sleep apnea, which can cause seizures or non-epileptic seizures and heart issues and weight gain and insomnia, and just suit up. What else? So that's my theories and thoughts on that expertise. I've spent a lot of time with peopling and assessing and body mechanics to posture and so I've seen a lot of bodies. I've seen a lot of bodies. 20 years, a lot of chair massage, a lot of, table work, a lot of re-education, self-care, and a lot of investing, anyways, back on topic. Come on, Sarah. We're going to take forever for the introduction of this. Let's see here. Where was I on? I'm trying not to read off a script. The system was supposed to help me in some level with depression, which I honestly think people get mixed up and they think grieving is depression. I think people like we get in a cycle, and when something goes totally, off their, schedule and repetition or whatever you want to call it, you typically kind of grieve a little bit. Like, okay, I'm off my schedule, and then and then it will get better and you get back on your schedule. So your body kind of grieves a little bit, if that makes sense. Or when we lose somebody, we grieve. It's not depression. And you can fight me on that, which is totally understandable. I mean, yeah, if it goes for a long, prolonged period of time, then, and it's affecting your life where you're like, let's say you're hoarding, or your house looks like a, zoo, or whatever, and you cannot seem to bring yourself back to your old life, then we got clinical depression, I think. And so I'm not trying to gaslight or whatever on that. Same with anxiety. I think we are taught to shut down as children, when we grow up, shut down, we're taught standards and protocols, and if we don't meet those, then our brain just like, I want to do better, but I just can't. But I've learned, like, maybe your child or is just not ready yet, and gets bored or whatever the reason is, or it's too advanced or too, just too much for them at that time. And then you will find, like me, I just found like I just needed that extra time to grow up, and and that extra time and space for that, and then, oh, that piqued my interest or my capacity or whatever. Anyways, so where was I? PTSD has looked like a mixture of PTSD, complex PTSD, anxiety, a little bit of grieving, now with the protracted withdrawal, and it could also be ADHD. And with that trend, I just hustle and bustle and And then with the protracted withdrawal, I literally had PTSD and either mental or and physical akathisia that just I could not, restless leg syndrome, akathisia, I don't know. It's it's crazy not being able to sit still. And over the past couple months, I've been like able to sit still and actually watch a. Here we go. I'm gonna start cursing. I could sit and watch a movie. I'm learning to watch a movie and sitting still. I still have the tendency. I restless leg slash movement issues when I go to bed at night. You'll probably see me moving around here still to this day. I feel like that's getting better too. So that's getting a lot better. And it's fight or flight, fun, all those things. Apparently, mental health they just profit off of bodies, and it's so frustrating because looking back, I'm like, there, you grow up with this ideology or pseudoscience, in my opinion, where you're thought they say it was all, chemical imbalance in your brain. It's not. The medication is the ones that cause all this, and then and then you try to wean off of it or titrate off of it or taper off of it, and you still have it in your gut, you have it in your liver. I feel like also it gets stored in your visceral fat, and yeah, so your body homeostasis, it takes years. It takes years to flush this toxicity out of your body. And water is not going to help. Eating, a whole handful of vitamins is not going to help. You realistically need to like taper as much as you can ever so slightly, every milligram, fourth of a milligram, I don't care. It's going to take a long time. And that's where I go back to this. This has been, I first started the whole scene of psychiatric medication about 3 decades ago, 32 years. That's a long time. That's a long time. Now, I didn't start like gravitating towards, chemical imbalance in my brain. I mean, something, even if it, because I knew I was hypersensitive to these medications my entire life. I needed something, little did I know that it was not in my head. It's more deficiencies in my, gut and my liver, and I'm not producing, certain vitamins which can mimic psychiatric problems. And it's taken me 32 years to figure that all out and make my own informed consent. Now, granted, I'm like advocating and making it a point to be so self-aware of my body and what my body cannot handle or can handle, can't and can. But at the same time, the system has screwed me over and over in a very short amount of time. When you hear it in your gut, intuition, gut feeling, trust your gut. It's never from your head. It's trust your gut. Trust your gut. And if it ain't mathin', it ain't mathin', is what I've been saying. And consistency has been one of my top words for many moons now. And transition. Neuroplasticity will, eventually heal and take over. And you do feel that if you are really good at, talking to your body and zoning into your body. I would love to get rid of this dissociation aspect or brain fog or brain fart or, aspect of this whole journey. I just don't like it. Again, it makes me feel like I don't exist on this planet. And that's when I feel the neuroplasticity. When I say that or think that, and then somebody does something that just kind of shocks my body, my neuro aspect, and reminds it that that's a normal thing to do, or, and I think the twins will, and new babies in our family will help me with that therapy. Don't cry. Don't cry. You don't cry. I can cry. I've got to say that the physical touch is loss. So if you know of a massage therapist that handles trauma and is willing to do whatever, even just a massage would just help me a lot. Brings me back to when newborn, there was like a study with a nun in a hospital or a nurse in a hospital, and she did this experiment or whatever where babies that didn't have nurturing touch and then had touch, the babies that didn't have touch, survival. So I need to find that article. Anyways, so I need a massage, and I'm willing to the hard part is I can't drive. I'm on a limited income because I even have, talks with myself, thoughts on this, that I'm grateful that have the limited income, but damn, I want to get back into massage. And then the other night, I made my bed, or, I've been trying to vacuum a little bit, and that just puts me, like, my ankles sprained because I'm vacuuming. And now I'm walking all funky. Uber and I got in a little minor fender bender. Some jackass decided he was in the wrong lane and backed up into his car, and yeah. So my neck hurts still from that. And then what else? And then I get tired so easily still to this day. Like, this whole journey, what happened in August of 2023 robbed me. Like, I don't know how long it's going to take me before I can have, a normal life again. This would have been a lot easier, when I was 20. 30, somewhere around there. Because then I, could bounce back a little bit and be able to do what I'm supposed to do. I know I look at it this way too, that I know I'm supposed to be helping people with disabilities in general. I was born with the gift superpower as I look at it. I have eye issue with strabismus, speech issue. Now I have FND, or protracted withdrawal. And I wanted to try this ketamine that has been recommended even before this even started. I was gonna put money away to have ketamine and try it for the mental health aspects. But insurance has denied that. Has denied mental health services too. It's expensive out of pocket. Or insurance not only denied it, but then recommended that I do, pharmaceuticals, which I'm like, and today, I just heard from another YouTuber who is doing ketamine herself, and so that's opening the door for me to go try it. But I'm too scared to do it because I don't want this pain level to increase. And then, you get in a vicious cycle. It's like, but then I actually have met 2 people that had FND in real life. My Uber driver a couple weeks ago, and then vocational rehab. I forgot about her. And she took my case because she saw that I had FND. Needed a job, and well, that was a disaster. Anyways, and stated that she benefited from ketamine, and I think she was free from FND for 15 years. So, yeah. So, I need to make money. I want to get off of limited income. And especially our government is making it, a whole headache. Stress. It adds more stress to listen every day. The possibility of next year, if you're able-bodied, You're going to need to volunteer. You're going to need to work or train or go back to school for 20 hours and record it. And with F&D and being so scared of the whole getting it recorded with doctors, yeah, I'm just a little nervous about that. But it'll all work out. And then the whole having this disability and not having DEI and A, yeah. And then this whole war on ADA, getting institutionalized and total bullshit. I can curse right now. So this channel is not for littles. I do curse on this channel. I'm trying to be a big girl and trying to watch my mouth, let F&D or episodes just do whatever. And this whole journey, I'm allowed to. This is my life. Nobody else can dictate my life. And that's the nice thing about YouTube and is I get to do what I need to do to heal, grow, whatever. Anyways. This system was supposed to help me with depression, anxiety, PTSD, whatever label they wanted to give me. I mean, OCD, anxiety, PTSD, bipolar, F&D, resistant to mental health, whatever. I want to actually buy, if anybody wants to buy me something, buy me a DMS5 book, just so I can just light it on fire. I kind of want to do that. And then the Gaslight Truth podcast, I want to send them that video as their intro. So if you want to do that, please help me out. I don't know how much those books are. I'll have to look and put that on my wish list so I can send these cheeky poos over there at the Gaslight Truth podcast. If you have not watched that video over there, it's been almost a year. I did that a year ago, maybe, give or take. Maybe in October. I don't know. Anyways, it's been a long time. And it goes by way too fast anymore. Like, when you sleep 7 plus anywhere, I think I've slept 23 hours, just enough to get up, eat, go to the bathroom, brush my teeth, and go back to bed. Yeah. It's And you do that, and it's just crazy. It just flies over you. And then it frustrates me more, or makes me upset, because you miss out on family. And we got now gonna have 6 kids, little kids in my family. And so Aunt Sarah soaks that all up, every minute and second that I can. It's left me unheard, questioning everything that I've been told over. I'm gonna be 42 in a few weeks. Yeah, 42. Like, I'm getting to the age, and with this dissociation, I'm like, really? I'm 42? What happened, like, literally almost a decade ago? Like, it's gone. I can't go back. I want to go back. Now I can kind of fib on my age. Lost a few years there. Forever 21? Nah. Forever 20. Now I'm like, I go through transitions where I'm like forever 21, and then it was like forever 25. We'll say I'm 32 now. We'll just, I'm short. I look young. Like, there was a kid that I Ubered and Lyft and drove all over the creation. We live in a town with, a lot of college students. It's a college town. And this one, actually, he was actually in high school, I think. And he said that I looked like I was 17. I was like, your mom raised you right. So, and I think I told him to go give his mom a hug. Tell him, your Uber driver said you raised me right. Anyways, like, even that drives me crazy now, because with the dissociation, I also, like, if you knew me before this, I knew everybody. I knew everybody's problems. I knew so-and-so to so-and-so, yada, yada, yada. Now I opened some old files the other day, found some, USB sticks, and I'm just like looking at them like, I don't even remember these people. Like, yeah, I'm feel like the real estate stuff, I need to get back to it. Even that, I'm like, I studied really hard not too long ago, and I'm kind of scared to figure out that, my brain is worse than these medicines are evil. And I'll be damned if anybody ever tries to convince me that they're safe. And the therapist that told me what is wrong, or asked me what is wrong with these medications, why are you... I'll be damned if anybody... What's wrong with them? They're killing people. People are attempting suicide. I don't... This country needs to wake up. This country needs to wake up and stop numbing like, this is... I've been through the recession. I see we going... If we're not in the Great Depression #2, I don't know. I've seen 9/11. The person shouldn't have to, freaking... I feel like I yell and scream in my head, wake up. A doctor should be, or a nurse, should be saying, I'm only human. Let me research this. I want you to come back to me and see me. Nobody else. I'm tired of that. That drives me crazy, where you get dumped on another colleague, or, without your consent. Sorry, and you see the same person, and should be like, sorry, you can't... I don't know. It's just... It's wrong. Like when I do massage, I want to know if you are going to an orthopedic surgeon. I want to know that you're going to PT, because PT and chiropractic, we kind of overlap in our services a little bit. And some PT and OTs don't want you to get services with another therapist too, because you can potentially get denied for insurance purposes, because because it affects your therapy. So same thing for me. I want to know, that way I can document it, and I'm gonna expect your, therapy to go a lot faster, or, it's better to, know what you're dealing with too. And anywho, because then also, if you're seeing PT for your shoulder, I can't touch your shoulder. I can't, I don't want to mess up their work, their progress. But I can certainly work on, let's say we're working on your right shoulder. I can definitely work on your left hip, because whatever is affecting your right shoulder, your left hip is gonna be impacted. Anyways, I get on this tangent. Good grief, it's been almost a half hour, give or take. I think, oh no, it's been an hour. There goes on our tangent. Like, for 32 years, my concerns felt dismissed rather than deeply investigated. Medications that were intended to help me instead led to experiences that altered my life. Pretty much fucked up my life. Like, literally. Like, I feel like this is equivalent to the life of somebody who has an alcoholic problem or drug problem. Literally. Just saying. Because everybody treats you differently. You lose friends because of it. You are estranged or struggle with family. Because sometimes they see you, you're fine. You can just work harder. And eventually it'll get, better someday. I'm doing all the work. I'm trying, I'm trying to push myself to get back to work. I'm trying. I want to. I need to. Like, I wanted kids. And yesterday, I wanted 4 kids. Technically, I would have had 4 kids. But I was born, little did I know, with a congenital malformation. And nobody on this It's always ideology. It's always mythology. It's always old wives' tales. It's always pseudoscience. Like, I want to, like, if I knew about this when I had my first pelvic exam, if somebody had picked it up, like, something ain't right. Beyond, oh, my family jokes that I have T-Rex arms. Like, I don't know. It's just, if somebody picked it up, that you might want to go to a fertility specialist or an endocrinologist with fertility. Like, pregnancy and fertility should be equally celebrated. Once yes, you will struggle with fertility stuff, but my God, if I ever got pregnant and full term, shit would hit the fan, like, in celebration. We shouldn't have to, oh, okay, you got fertility issues. Let's get you to the next step. It shouldn't cost extra. Fertility should never cost extra. It shouldn't be the struggle bus from hell. Gosh, I'm on a tangent today. And then adoption, okay, you've tried your best, there's structural damage, you've gone his avenue, your avenue, there's structural damage that is very risky. I have a complete, at the time, a complete septum that separated my uterus and vaginal, and yeah, so like, if I had known, how much of a risk, not only for me, but especially for the baby, and, and undergoing, unknowingly having miscarriages and not being able to get past, a certain amount of weeks and stuff. I would have loved to have had the opportunity to, go the fostering route, and surrogacy or whatever route. But even that costs money and a whole headache of, the government wants to know everything about you fostering, adoption, and stuff like that. And if you're single, I think it should be extra special and no problem at all. If you wish to be single for the rest of your life, you should still be able to adopt, just it's fucking 2026, okay? The whole shit is history, and then not only that, having the procedure, which I was told one thing, we were going to remove the septum, and I thought we were going to put a balloon in there and then deflate it, and then I got infections from hell, and then I went into the ER, and that ER doctor told me to shut up, and so that caused, trauma, and then the whole procedure, and then that happening caused vaginismus. And then I later found out that we did not do the procedure like I was taught or told or whatever. And I needed to see if I want to say it was my left side fallopian tube was still open, or if there was any scar tissue blocking, and then maybe go back and have a procedure and have a fertility specialist, which was going to cost extra money and not covered by insurance, and clean the rest of the septum and make sure it wasn't a bicornuate uterus, which is where it's a heart shape, and so up here in the fundus is the important part, because they didn't want that to rupture if I did go full term. And so it looked like it was a septate uterus. So I do have, the fundus. Is it fundi? I don't remember. Anyways, and then just clean out that I did have eggs, and at least on the right side was working and stuff like that. But the other risk was I have allergies to medication, sensitivities to medication. And so, yeah. And then, I wanted to, the older I got, okay, I wanted 4 kids when I was really young, and then that dropped down to, 3, and then 2, and then maybe 1. And now it's like, I don't know. And, I even thought of like co-parenting would be great, because then, then I don't have to really parent with somebody 24/7. They can go, see their other parent, for some time and come back, and, I know that would probably impact them, psychologically at some point in their life, but, so I thought about doing that. Thought I even, like, okay, if I have eggs, well, I'm too old. You have to be like 21 to, I think the cutoff was like 32 or something. But then talking to somebody that has done this, I think they like changed it, because somebody was like in their, I don't know how a woman can do this in their 50s. No, no, no. So, and then I wanted to kind of be like my mom. Bless her heart. I don't know how she even survived me and 3 other older kids. Don't know. Don't know how my dad and my mom survived. Surprise! I love you guys. I kept them busy, I guess. So I even thought, surrogacy. If I have eggs, I might as well put them up for adoption. Somebody else could use them. Unfortunately, like, this FND has robbed me. And society, work, 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 save, 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 or especially if you, I don't know, it's just raised a certain way or whatever, I don't know, generation thing. And then I've even had people say, try this old wives' tale, or, oh, maybe you have a tilted pelvis. Then it was endometriosis. Then the whole trend of PCOS, which is now called PMS, POMS, I think is what it's now called. I don't remember. So that's gotten changed recently. Which is not really, I don't think it's, and I think it also, me having issues with vitamin deficiency, and then I have what's called the mother effer. It looks like the mother effer gene. I think that can contribute into fertility issues. Don't quote me on that, but I just have this inkling. And then me being the shortest one, T-Rex in my family, has some I think there's a syndrome. But I'm tired. I'm honestly tired of figuring out what's wrong with me. And when I say wrong with me, I'm done. I'm done fitting everybody's standard, not meeting people's standards. I just want to be me. I want to do my thing. I want to, do what I'm supposed to do on this earth. I'm tired of the validation. I'm tired of, I'm done. I'm done, but I'm not done. Anyways, back to what I was going to originally do on this channel tonight, and an hour and a half later, we're gonna probably backtrack to, I think most of this is stuck in our liver, adheres to, messes with our insulin, our metabolic, mitochondrial, which, backtracking to when I was a child, I was tired, always tired, deficient in B12, mitochondrial dysfunction, whatever. This was not ADHD or ADD, which is going to be funny here in 2 seconds or 3 seconds or 20 seconds. It adheres to our visceral fat. I have an inkling that this is just going to come out, and everybody's going to be like, oh, yeah, that sounds right. Like I said, I'm not a doctor, blah, 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 blah. And it just adheres to our, we have poor gut health in our country. It'll take years and years to completely titrate out of and restore homeostasis. Okay? It's gonna take years. Number 47 needs to have the FDA and food not have so many freaking chemicals in our food and also sugar, added sugar. I still am mind boggled at how much crap is in our food. And you wonder why our kids are so picky. For one, there's no taste. 2, we're not eating a meal together, for one, because we're so busy working 3 to 6 different jobs. So families are not sitting down for a meal together as a family. And then, like, I have family members that wrote a book. If you guys are interested and you have children that are probably about under 8 years old, maybe younger than that, maybe 5. I've got some cousins that wrote a book about trying different foods. Just try it. It's called Just Try It, Georgie, or Georgie, Just Try It. Either way, it's a good book. Go check it out. Highly recommend it. If your kid is, picky, has that disorder, some type of disorder with autism, gastroparesis, RF, I think, RDIF, I don't remember the actual acronym or whatever, but I'm close. I know I'm close. Anyways, and when you crave sugar, you crave more sugar, and yeah. Anyways, back to my 20 seconds. Didn't I say it was going to be 20 seconds? I joke. We need to get my so-called brother. Hang on. I'll be right here. Here we go. Here we go. Good old Jeffrey. Thank you. Sorry, I'm not paying attention to chat. I just want to get through this. I will get to you at kind of the tail end. Where am I? Oh. This is also one of my favorite clips that I'm going to move on with your life, Sarah. Move on. And he would say this too. But he knows that I've been struggling. I've been on the struggle bus for a long time. Probably about the time this poor soul got duped in our family. Here we go. He wouldn't change it for the world, Love you both. Where's my heart? Oh, and then I found another clip it's a photo. Anyways, later. Probably in another video. All right. Enough of my little 20 minute break. 20-second break. Here's the thing. My body cannot handle stimulants. None listed. Okay. Non-stimulants. So you would think ADHD, hyperactive, somebody in the morning would need to take, a stimulant to keep going or whatever. I can handle one non-stimulant, which is a central A2A adrenalic antagonist, which is intuitive guanfacine, which when you actually look at this medication, you think of it looks like it's spelled like Mucinex, whatever Mucinex. See, here I'm not a pharmacist. I can't pronounce. I have dyslexia in pharmacy, so and I thought this was a good way to like keep myself in tune and kind of help whoever needs this out there. Whoever has hypersensitivities or just, wants to be informed about different medications. And like the max dose. So basically I would be able to take 1 to 4 milligrams, and it's an extended release. It regulates emotions, ADHD, hyperactivity, impulsivity, off-label, which I honestly, with the trilopitol, I really don't get, but whatever. Sleep, tics, PTSD related, hyperarousal. So I've never heard of it. I'm going to try alternative medicine before I ever even venture back into trying these medications. TEDx, we're just going to call it the Mucinex drug because it looks just like it's supposed to be, the Mucinex off-brand or whatever, or this second name. Immediate release is used for blood pressure, which uses a different dosage protocol. And of course, Mucinex is not the same thing as this drug. So it's not going to do the same thing. And I would have been like, oh, I can take Mucinex as an alternative, but you can't. Antidepressants that I could probably take are, now there's one that I had taken in the past, but I was polypharmacy, so I don't know, because of side effects and stuff, and whatever drug. So I put that on. I do not take it. So there are only 3 of these medications. No, 2. No, 3. Yeah, 3 of these medications. I had another one, but then that one actually had a moderate level of, so I just bumped that one, and I have no idea what that one was. Never heard of it. Never heard of Fetzima, and I couldn't even tell you what the generic brand, Levo, Milan, Nasipran. It's a SNRI, which is called a serotonin neproephedrine reuptake inhibitor. I can take a 40 to kind of stay in the hypersensitivity. I would never medications with having this hypersensitivity. It helps with major depressive disorder, or MDD, or off-label anxiety. You know me, I really don't care for this off-label stuff. But Vibrid And let me go back to this. During initiated for the okay. That's Fitsima. Fitsima. This is good, practice round. I guess I need to go and have Google pronounce these names for me a few million times. Anyways, this medication this SNRI, during the initial or dose change, mood changes or suicidal thoughts can happen, increased heart rate and blood pressure can happen, anxiety, jitteriness, sweating, nausea, constipation. Now I sound like one of these Google ads. Insomnia and sexual side effects. There is neutral weight concerns, less weight gain than many SSRIs, TCAs, or AAPs, which are, we'll discuss that, what these initials stand for, or acronyms, but mild weight loss. So that's good. Vibrid or vilazodone, which is an SSRI plus a 5-HT1A partial serotonin antagonist. This one you have to take with food. And the 20 to 40 milligrams is like the average, and it helps with the same thing as Vetsima above, which is major depressive disorder and off-label anxiety. This typically causes dizziness, dry mouth, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, which is apparently very common, insomnia, and sexual side effects lower than most SSRIs. Lower risk of weight gain, again. There's insulin resistance and lipid changes. Mood changes and serotonin syndrome can happen when combined with other serotogenic, I'm probably doxing that, medication and protracted withdrawal symptoms. So hopefully that helps. Mood stabilizers, again, trilopitol, oxycarbazepine, anticonvulsive. It's an anticonvulsive sodium channel blocker. So you're going to have low sodium or sodium problems or hypersensitive. I feel like with the name brand, there were years where I had to take a salt pill, the hydrochlorothiazide, because I was having, too much salt and not processing. And then again, when I say it wasn't until 2018, and I did look this up. That's when it started coming out that this was the oxycarbazepine, the off-brand, was used as a mood stabilizer, which kind of shocked me at that time. And you can take up to 600 to 2400 milligrams. The higher the dose, it's more for epilepsy and seizures, but lower doses, I think. But yet again, I had rage, but at the same time, I don't know. I think it caused more bipolar, psychosis, rage, irritability. I'm sorry to all my family. I was a total bitch. Ideation, non-epileptic seizures. And that's where, again, I'm like, are these so-called non-epileptic seizures caused by taking anticonvulsive medications? Yeah. That's a good question for anybody that has non-epileptic seizures. Like I would question that. Is it protracted withdrawal because it's being used by an anticonvulsive that's being, quoted off-label, used for mood stabilizers. Anyways. And yes, it did cause me, and I've been on Trial since it first came out in 1999, 2000. I don't think I started the off-brand until 2018. I don't think it was too expensive to get. Oh, maybe, I'm sorry. I just thought I was able to take it, the name brand, from 1999, 2000, to about 2003, 2004, 2005. And then it started kind of switching to this generic because I lost my insurance for a brief because my parent, being on, I think you could be on your parents when you were like 26 or something like that, or up to 26. I don't remember. So long ago. And my brain is mush anymore. So apparently it helps with mood stabilization, but all the seizure medications that I know of or I've seen other people be on, I think lamotrigine might be the best one for mood stabilizer, which is the next one, Lamictal or lamotrigine. Lamictal being an anticonvulsive, and then lamotrigine is the off-brand or generic mood stabilizer, and you can take 100 to 200 milligrams up to 400 depending on if you have seizures or and it's for maintenance and depression. Now with this one, with all anticonvulsive, there is a risk of St. John's syndrome, or TENS, which is a rash, splotchy rash all over your body, and other issues with that. Headache, dizziness, nausea, fatigue, tremors, insomnia. Like, yeah, even insomnia is like the major thing with these two medications. And then bipolar, mania, seizures, weight and insulin resistance, diabetes. There's a risk of lipid changes, so you got to be aware of those. Pretty much with any of these, mood or anticonvulsive. And again, Lamictal is, I've seen other people's take it, so considering I've been on trilopitol, I know the ins and outs of trilopitol, or oxycarbazepine. I'd be okay. I've told my practitioner I'm okay to change it, but again, I'm too scared to even go back and try something. I honestly want my body to just be all natural. If I need something, vitamin deficiency, let's figure it out. But I want to stay away from any toxicity, chemicals. Yeah. After all this, and just hope for the best that, and if you talk to people that have gotten off of benzos and SSRIs, and I'm sure they would tell you the same thing. Anytime that I was on these drugs cause more damage than good. These cause these issues. I don't think if I've been, on and off of these drugs. So my body was trying to deal with protracted withdrawal, or, weaning off of these. And so I can't really say I've been off these drugs. I don't even honestly remember my body ever having so-called depression, anxiety. I mean, yeah, I was an anxious kid, hypersensitive to sounds, but I don't think it was nearly the capacity or the tone or whatever that these drugs do. The level, the tone, whatever you want to say. So, and I've noticed a big difference too. I'm not moving a lot. That's another perk for the past few months. I don't know. I think there was something magical that when my niece and the twins, the littles, watching them, hugging them, squeezing them, like they put some magical, I don't know, they did something to me. And it was for the good. They're good little therapists. So, and then I noticed scrolling down, I had this all situated, and then things changed. I might talk a little bit about some other stuff. Let me finish up with the antipsychotics. So you have atypicals and then you have typicals. Oh, and then I forgot to talk about the antidepressants and different. I think I'll have to talk about that at a later time. I think we'll go back on that maybe here in a little bit. So antipsychotics. So before you take an antipsychotic, you need to be on a mood stabilizer. So it's like antidepressant. First, it's stimulants, non-stimulants, give you more energy. Then they give you antidepressants to help your serotonin. And then before you can take an antipsychotic, they typically put you on a mood stabilizer to balance if you are on a SSRI or whatever, SNRI or whatever. That's how I usually see it. So to kind of stabilize your antipsychotic, yeah. So Latuda or lorazepam, which is a Latuda capped Ida, I'm probably doxing that, Loom A Pure One, Yuma, I don't know. And then Saffros. And then Invega. And I am not going to pronounce these right at all with the generics. Anyways, you can do your own research. These four are atypicals. They're second generation antipsychotics. Invega has an active risperidone, so it's related to risperidone. Let me go back to oxycarbazepine. Oxycarbazepine or trilopitol is related to or has some Hang on. I'm sorry. Everything got messed up. I guess my internet went out at some point when I was doing all this. That's not what I want. Carbamazepine, which is Tegretol, which is an anticonvulsive or mood stabilizer. So I just wanted to fill that in. So Latuda 20 is to 160 milligrams. You must take it with food, with 350 calories of food. That's where you... Now, all my stuff got all discombobulated. Let me see if I had it down here. I guess not. Now it said, I do recall it saying it didn't have the weight gain, but then you take it at night and you eat food at night, or you take one pill at night, you're going to gain weight. Anyways, this is where it helps with bipolar depression. Caplita, I think I'm pronouncing that right now, is also a second generation. And then there's just a one-time 42 milligrams. It also helps with bipolar depression and schizophrenia. So Latuda, bipolar depression, schizophrenia. Caplita is also bipolar and schizophrenia. And then Saffris is 5 to 20 milligrams. You put it under your tongue. So it's fast acting. And then it's bipolar 1, and it helps with the mania and schizophrenia. Because it's under the tongue. In Vega, it's also second with risperidone. It's 3 to 12 milligrams extended release. And then it has a long-acting injection, which has a separate dosing. And it's strictly schizophrenic disorder or affective disorder, and then schizophrenia, which I don't have to worry about. I'll probably be on the funny farm if anybody ever... Well, that EMT that messed up my arm, he suspected that I had schizophrenia at the time when I was having FND seizures. So anyways, and then typical thiazine or Navaine, which is an older class, first generation, and it's pretty much for schizophrenia only. Don't have to worry about it. It's a 5 to 60 milligrams, if that helps anybody out there in the world. Well, I'm gonna kind of leave the benzos and the hypnotics for tomorrow. And then we'll kind of go into some other drugs tomorrow. We'll kind of go talk about other antidepressants and well, actually I might. I didn't include... all my stuff disappeared. technology. Yeah, we'll continue this tomorrow. Do I want to talk about that? I can't decide. That's okay. So we'll talk about what this genetic test means. We're going to try to simplify it here. This test looks at your genes to see how your body might react to certain medications. I do not have the risk of having the Stevens-Johnson syndrome, which is SJS for the acronym, toxic epidermal neocrolysis, or what's called TENS, which is a rash that you can get, and it's an ugly rash. So I don't have that risk for them, which is good. Like, I need any more issues. Now, ADHD medication response. My genes suggest that I may have a moderate weak response to ADHD medications. This does not mean they won't work, but they might work a little less strongly. Doctors might need to adjust the dose. Like, I want to see my doctor anymore after all this, or try different medications. And especially after Adderall caused me to have seizures, and so I need to do a little bit better. Was I still here? Am I still here? I hope I didn't close that. Okay. Hey, Wendy. Give you some love. Hope you come back and watch. There's nobody watching. I'm kind of nervous that I closed something. We are discussing my genetic testing. What's wrong with me? That's deep. I don't know. I wish there was better insulin deficiency. True. Yeah, who cares? I know that when it's so ingrained in you to, and you deal with it on a regular basis, and ableism and the stereotypes and discrimination for 42 years, you know drop the link. Oh, yeah, I just need to go back and just practice. I think that's what you were talking about. It's not that I can't identify it. It's I have FND, speech issues, and FND is mushed my brain. So now I have FND dyslexia, or FND has induced dyslexia, or I don't know. Anyways, can't pronounce medical terminology anymore. Or medications in general, because it's not really my, area of expertise. Because I'm not a doctorologist. I'm just a patient, and I mean, if I was taking the medication for years and years and years, then I would have been able to pronounce them. But if I don't know about them, anyways. Yeah, Mucinex is a phlegm and snot buster. Stings for fibromyalgia. Yeah, that's the other thing that I deal with is pain. They say it's fibromyalgia. I don't know. I'm gonna say that I have fibro all with this. What dual stream and why am I not invited? I don't know. I don't know, Wendy. I'm sorry. Yeah, we need to chat. Definitely send me an email. Living life with FND. I would love to just get you on a panel and just kind of collab with you, and you can talk all about different medications and stuff. Um, I'll give you give you the floor, if you wish. Yes, SSRIs, they don't work very well with me. Insulin resistance. Yeah. GABA. I'm probably driving you crazy. I'm sorry. Girl. Yes, you can definitely. We're gonna chat. Let's get together and chat about what we want to do and then kind of go from there. Okay? Sound like a plan? What do I think about GPL1? And then I'm a little lost on she's, I wonder, the same for me. And then I think I lost you. Anyways, I said my love to you, Wendy. Thank you for coming in and doing all your expertise stuff. I hope this was very informative for anybody out there. I hope I'm not talking to myself. Oh, I think I'm gonna call it a night. If anybody steps back in here. Oh. I'm confused actually. Wendy, invite to your other channel. Now I do have it's kind of color coded to kind of keep track. The yellow channels are usually politics, corruption, whatever floats my boat. The red, I should have made this red, but as you can see, I'm having technical difficulties with Streamlabs. I can't load my intros and outros. So I'm just like, whatever. And then the green will be more art therapy, getting together with friends. Like, I'm going to make it Legos. And then the blue is just like, I'm hopping on, just doing whatever, So eclectic of other interests and hobbies, and mostly it's going to be music. So they're not realistically other channels. I mean, yeah, I have my art channel that I've abandoned. Yeah. So I'm mostly focused on this. Man, I'm tired now. this whole FND, protracted withdrawal, whatever. I found an interesting article the other day, or yesterday, or the day before. It all runs together anymore. Angie Peacock wrote an article. I think it was Angie Peacock. Yeah. And then she, if you can find that information, go down and post it in the comments, and maybe I need to do something for you guys. I need to do a little goodie bag or something once a month. I don't know. Let me think on that. I need to get a P.O. box. I would like to get a P.O. box because especially I'm gonna have another little niece, great niece. So I am excited about that. So if you want to send my niece some pinky stuff, please do whenever I get that established. It's just like I have to factor in funds to go pick up this stuff with Uber or whatever, or have somebody pick it up for me, because unfortunately the post office won't deliver your stuff at the P.O. box. So I would like to do that because it's just fun to have little fan mail and try new stuff, and just because my birthday is coming up pretty soon, in a few weeks, and yeah, I need to do that. I am tired now. You guys wear me out talking to you guys. I hope this is recording. I lost everybody. That's all right. 3 hours isn't long enough. Don't you agree? We will touch base on the GPL1 later. Yeah, all in all, these drugs deplete your whole system of, like, the anticonvulsive medications, like, mess up your gums, your teeth. Like, you can't function, especially if you are on the wrong stuff. And some of these drugs, for my safety, I also have messed them up too. So, or I won't discuss them or whatever. So, just for my safety. But yeah, I hope this helps. Anybody doing anything for dinner? Anybody? I'm trying to make this 3 hours. I miss you, Flash fan. If you're watching later on a replay, Love you, bud. Miss you. Anna, I miss you. The Spanish version of FND. Haven't seen you for 2 months. 2 months. I hope you're doing well. Who else can I tackle? Yvonne, I saw you the other night, or last night, or yesterday. Gosh, time just, I know you're probably busy. Wendy, I gave you some hearts. Coco, you're new here. Welcome, welcome. She got the hearts. I just had to emphasize. Wendy, there you go. Anna. There we go. There we go. Flash Van. Yvonne. 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 There we go. And whoever else needs hearts, if you're on the struggle bus, you will get through it. I promise. I honestly promise. I look like I'm fine, but it takes a lot of energy to make it seem like I'm fine. It's a lot of work. I need to do my hair. I need to color my hair. Maybe I need to trim it. I don't know. I'm actually digging the long hair because, again, I've said this before. I haven't had long hair in a long time, and I want to do cutesy stuff with my hair. So, anywho, well, guys, we're rolling. We're still rolling to almost 3 hours. I'm going to make it 3 hours. See if anybody else rolls in here. Okay, Facebook, you're making me mad because you were not posting it live. That's why nobody's watching. Current viewers, 0. Because you arg. Oh well. Well. Everybody must be out and about. Well, I like this clip. Move on with your life. He's such a prick. Oh. He might be a prick. might be stupid, but we love you. You gotta give it to him. He's one of the cheerleaders in my life. Oh, see, now he's watching. Say hello to everybody. Anyways, someday I will move on. And it will evolve, you know. It's getting there. Like, I just want to have a job. I want to be busy working. Hey! Shmuel, I haven't seen you in forever. Oh my goodness. Give me some more hearts. These hearts are dark and green. How are you? I haven't seen you in forever. You probably are one of my ones that just lurk. But yeah, I hope you're doing well. And it's so funny because the ones that I can see in my sub list, I'll go through that list of you guys that are not private, and I'll just be like, I want to see this person. I want to see this person. And yeah, and we're thinking the same, and it works. But I don't say it because analytics. I want to naturally. Because you never know, this stupid computer the phone's listening to you. Absolutely. It's anything to make anybody's day is it's just the right thing to do and makes anybody's day, and it counts, you know? And like the expert, he tries, you know. I don't know, he's got 9,000 subscribers and he tries, you know. And so when I'm on there, you know, and I'm probably driving everybody else crazy, I know if I keep trying and trying, he'll eventually, you know, weed through, you know. I mean, he's not going to get everybody, you know, but I don't honestly want to get to that point, though. I just want my 500 subscribers, a little bit of monetization, you know, and I'd rather have this be a small channel, but I still have the dreams when we first had help from Squid Pro Quo. Love you, Chica. You helped me. Valhalla. Oh wait, it's like go for it. But yeah, after being on Squid, I still have that dream that I woke up and I had 1,035 subscribers. Yeah. Cut the 0 out of that number. That still works. I think I was like at 135 or something like that with her. So that was good. Milestones. It takes a lot of patience, a lot of time. It doesn't come overnight, but maybe someday it will. One would only hope, and I don't care realistically about numbers. It's whoever really needs the inspiration and the help and whatever. Life is short. Life is ugly. Life can be bittersweet, sometimes. And as long as you try and try and try and you don't give up. And it can be lonely sometimes, but don't let that discourage you to reach out. Anna! Yay! I knew you would come around here sometime. I've been jibber jabbering for 3 hours about medication, sensitivities. We'll be continuing this in little sections here and there. I don't know what I'll be doing. I'll be doing kids, art piece, and so the littles take up a lot of my energy, but that's okay. Working on a book. What else does Sarah do? Sarah keeps busy. As my pseudo grandmother, who was my neighbor across the street growing up, I took care of her because she had dementia. As her famous thing would be saying to her siblings, I'm a sitting, not a shitting. So that's my favorite thing. Sorry, Anna, your painting is taking forever. I've been busy with family. But I know that you don't mind that at all. Take my time. And that's the good thing about art is, you want it to look great and take your time. Don't rush on it. Plus, I'm wanting a cat now or a dog. There was this lady on next door. She had a little, I think he was a little Maltese. He was 12 weeks old. He was so cute. I was like, eh. So I'm poking at that door of like, it's hard because I think my lease for this apartment is like pet fee is $500, and then like a monthly fee. I don't know. Anyways, I know. I can probably. If I did a service dog, I would want a little bit bigger dog and do I would, want it younger so I could train it, but the amount of discrimination with service dogs and the amount of anxiety that comes with everybody loves dogs. And it seems like children know more about service dogs than their own parents and adults. And with the whole pandemic brought in a lot of service dog issues, discrimination, a lot of trend of everybody had a service dog or emotional support animal or a pet that was not legit, and then that caused a lot of problems of which is very, very, very risky for the person that handles a service animal, or a lot of risk, because it costs anywhere from, I mean, you can train an animal from the pound, but I find it's crucial to have a dog that since birth goes through the training, service dog training, and gets trained until they're about a year. I would say 2 to 3 years is a good amount of training. And then you have to, extend that training every day. It's like having a 4-year-old, all day, every day, because you have to retrain, redirect. Anyways, and it could also be why I might have PTSD, anxiety as well. Even though, I was the second handler. Anyways. But yeah, I would train anybody's dog, because and I'd rather a dog than a cat, to be honest. And an emotional support animal is not a legit, I don't think they should be a legit service animal or dog, to be honest. You're basically claiming your pet as a service dog with very, very little training. So it's, anyways, that's my thoughts on it. So what is everybody doing for dinner? I know it's 9, almost 10 o'clock. I'm hungry. I've got pizza. Actually, I can make it pizza night because it's Thursday. I think I have mac and cheese from the Wazoo. Or I could order a pizza. And I don't have to turn the oven on. I don't know. Too bad Papa John's converted to Pepsi products. And the older I get and the fluffier I get, and pre-diabetes and all that, I'm not a big fan of Mountain Dew. I don't think my body can, with all the toxicity. I've noticed a change, with my eating here and there, that I don't tolerate food very well. I don't know if it's because I have the MCAS or whatever, and it just sitting here and talking about MCAS makes me itch. Yeah. Uh, I don't know what to do. I have hamburger. Actually, I have to let that thaw. So I'll probably have that tomorrow or the next day. I can't wait to see the littles. Like, that is the highlight. Just having a new niece. That would be funny if, oh man, my niece would kill me. The fact that even before my father goofed and he can't keep secrets anymore. I was dreaming about pink stuff. Like, I've been like this my whole entire life. I'm an empath. And especially when it comes to my family, and like, there are some of my nieces and nephews that I consider my children. You gave me, since I can't have kids, I know it's not the same thing, and you birthed them, but they hold a special part in my heart, They definitely do. And I'm sorry you went through all that pain all on your own. But anyways, so I've been dreaming about a little girl. I do know that. So I already knew. I already knew. Yeah, so yeah, like my first niece was born on my birthday, was a girl. I had like these little wishing dolls, and they came, I think there were like 7 of them or 10 of them, and they're like little yarn little dolls, and I got them in Texas, little wishing dolls, and I was adamant to put them under my pillow and wish on a little girl. Ever since I found out, and sure enough, little girl, she was like, no, it's gonna be a boy, not born on your birthday. Should listen to me, Celine Dion. Oh. So Celine Dion has married Jeffrey Dean. I'm starting my own drama. Oh. Now Chat GPT has said Celine Dion looks like Reba. There are 3 others that I don't even remember. What's the lady from Everybody Loves Raymond? And yeah, whatever her name is. You would think I would know that. Anyways, yeah, my sister, accordingly to Chat GPT and Grok, and then there's like this other thing where you can look up in it'll give you like 9 different people, celebrities and famous people and rich people or whatever, that kind of sort of looks like so and so. And with me writing my book, I'm kind of drafting who they look like and to kind of hide identity or whatever. It's funny. Yeah, I'm talking about Everybody Loves Raymond's wife, Deborah. Anyways, yeah, Patricia. I totally spaced that. I need to eat. I need to eat. I think we're up to 163 subs. So if you have not liked, subscribe, toggle that notification bell, do all the YouTube things. I would greatly appreciate it. Watch the whole 3 hours. It's very informative at the beginning. And yeah, it helps me grow little by little. Oh, you're fine. You're good. Shmeal. You are good. No worries. Yep. And what's funny is the middle is it takes place in Indiana, small town, and yeah, it. Although Celine Dion has 4 kids instead of the 3 in the middle. And when I was watching that show, I was just like, of course it's everybody's family, but I'm like, oh my gosh, that's like your family. Yeah. So I might use Patricia Heaton in this. Or it'd be funny to just like randomly change their names. Change my family members' names to see if they're watching or at all. Although my brother-in-law, Jeffrey Dean Morgan here, he definitely watches. Patricia, we'll call her Patricia now. We'll switch it up. So if you get confused on this channel of who is who, oh, so Patricia will be on the other side of the, freaking house, 3,000 square foot house. And Jeffrey's like dead asleep because Jeffrey goes to sleep. Jeffrey's original name was Jimmy Kimmel, and then I looked at old Grok messages and stuff, and they were like putting another name, and then this was like the top two, and I was like, no, he doesn't really look like Batman. And now I'll say that he looks like Batman. He's on the other side of the house, and he's dead asleep because he works. He's Batman. He's Batman, saving the world. Oh. Yeah. Now I'm going to have to be really funny. And I'm going to have fun with this now. I've got stuff in my brain I'm not going to share now because he watches. If the channel wants to help me come up with some either pranks, jokes, Batman stuff, that's what you guys can do. You guys can send me pink stuff for the baby, Batman stuff for me to just like plant, and like obnoxious stuff, Batman stuff or whatever, around the house. This is this type of sibling stuff, the stupid sibling stuff that we do. Pranks, whatever. Yeah, I'm like, I don't think he's watching. He'll probably watch later and laugh hysterically. Yeah, I just think we'll have to do Batman, and then I can talk about it. It'll be fun and get a reaction. Yeah, I'll even, it'd be funny to get a Catwoman stuff planted in Patricia's closet or something ridiculous. She'll catch on. Although we have like this thing that we do every time somebody gets married. We kind of, like, my grandmother started this whole sibling thing or family thing. She used to create potpourri, a whole thing of potpourri, and then whoever got it, as a wedding gift, and then it would just like sit in so-and-so's closet forever, and then whoever got married again, that's the person that got it, and then it just multi-generation thing. Unfortunately, that got lost, at some point. And now we're doing something different, which I might start something with that. Because this thing is kind of the same idea, and although we move it around, I don't want to spoil it. And it took Patricia about 2 years to realize it, and one of the siblings had to move it around until, hey, it's about time, So, anywho, so hopefully that's a little start to our little planter for you guys. I'm kind of excited to see if it will become a thing. Yeah, because we're going to have another wedding here in a couple months. So we're busy. New babies, weddings. It's an exciting year. I think there will be another wedding on step sibling or step side of our family. Yeah, it's fun year. Yep, I'm annoying. But yeah, I'm hungry. What are you guys hungry for? Chicken? Maybe I'll probably do tacos tomorrow. Yeah, maybe I'll just order pizza. I don't know. I think yesterday I told you about dentist, and came down to the dentist is wanting me to go see somebody else. I've lost confidence, and I was starting to get triggered, and they didn't want me to get triggered over a consultation, and he was super, 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 super busy, and he didn't even have time to realistically plan and talk to me. So I ended up not needing to really see him yet. He did refer me to another dentist outside of town, out of the way. So I need to talk to him again over the phone and see if we can find somebody in town. But the other dentist out of town accepts insurance or my dental insurance through Medicaid. So, or talk to siblings and see who they go to. So it's just like, I'd rather see somebody that I know, like, and trust. And my teeth are off center because the tardive dyskinesia and FND and TMJ, and yeah. I just need, probably need to go see a chiropractor, one that knows about and does actual adjustments for TMJ, but you have to be really careful with that. And yeah. And again, that's like, I know, like, and trust. So, ooh, spaghetti sounds good. Oh, I am annoying. Trust me, ask my family. And I didn't even have I got lost in, hang on. I don't know where he went. Hang on. Where was it? The laughing one. Doo-doo-doo. I don't know. That's what I've been using. Anyways. Don't know. Spaghetti sounds good. Maybe I'll make spaghetti tomorrow. Maybe I'll have my niece cook. She owes me a lot of cooking. She's been saying that she was going to cook because she lives in the South and she knows Southern cooking. According to Littles, her big little. Because the big little does not like my cooking. It's too bland for picky eater. Yeah, it does. I think I'll have pizza. I think my belly is like, pizza, because then I can go ahead and order Papa John's. I would also, because I only have cash, I only want to use cash, and to what is it? Freaky frat. Blah, blah, blah. I'm losing it. I need to eat. I need to add Joe Schmo. If you didn't see the reveal, go to Joe Schmo 88. I was able to finally reveal painting over there and talk about my stuff with F&D. I think we talked for almost 2.5 hours or so. So it's kind of towards probably about 45 minutes at the end. yeah, so 2 hours in, I don't know, give or take, an hour and 45 minutes into the video. So if you ever want to skip through, oh, they're not closed. They don't close until like 2, I think. And if they're closed, I will probably just eat a mini meal or whatever I have in the freezer. Yeah, that's the other thing, is I have no clock anymore either. Plus, then I am saving money. So if I don't order, I'm saving money. And less fluffy. Anyways. Well, children of the YouTube world, I think I'm going to order my pizza. 3 hours and 30 minutes is long enough. I love you guys. I will be back probably tomorrow. Come on. There we go. Hurts. Why does that have to be so complicated? We'll do that. Yay. There we go. Alrighty. Have a good night. If you are struggling, life will get better. I promise. I've been there. It will get better. I promise. I wouldn't be here if I didn't promise. Keep fighting. I know it's a struggle, but keep fighting. Keep advocating for yourself. You know your body better than I do or anybody else. So keep going. You'll find the things that work for you the best. Have a good night. Get some food. Get some sleep. And I will see you on the next one. And there's going to be no intro and outro music, so have a good night. Bye.